In my couple years of playing disc golf, I've come across a problem, and it's one particular missing shot. Whenever I've stepped up to a hole that requires a forehand, I've had to fabricate a forehand. And I've been able to build a bag over the last couple of years that is suitable for this, but it's just not ideal. So this here is a backhand, and it's typically used for a hole that moves right to left. And this here is a forehand, which is typically used for a hole that moves the opposite, left to right. With not really being able to throw a forehand, I've had to choose discs that allow my backhand to function like a forehand. But I've always just thought, instead of masking a problem, what if I just took the time to fix the problem? That was the last backhand for a month. I think I'm gonna regret this one. In my time of playing disc golf, I've never committed to learning the forehand. I've always been awful at it. And I always assumed if world champions like James Conrad and Isaac Robinson don't need a forehand, then why would I need one on my local course? So I've always just made it work, but I knew at some point I was gonna need to do this. I mean, I've gotten by for a while without it, but it might be time. All right, first forehand of the month. Not awful. I just can't rely on it. Walking up, they're awful. But when I stand still, it's a serviceable shot within 100 feet. This month might be miserable, but let's get to throwing. Uh-oh. Nope. The hard part this month is gonna be not getting injured, because I'm awful at this. The hardest I've ever thrown a disc. This is going to be an interesting month. Now my goal after throwing all those shots is to figure out a couple things. Form and consistency. The form, as you can see, is going to take a little while. All right, 1 month only forehand. We'll see how this goes. Today I'm doing standstills because when I move it's a problem. Off to a stellar start. Like these are the shots that I don't know. No. Only 2 throws in and this is ugly.
You don't have to throw forehand now?
Well, I don't know. Should I putt forehanded too?
It's up to you.
Well, maybe I'll just do forehand and everything. All right, this here was a bad idea. This forehand putt was useless. It did help me a little with release point and maybe slightly with some accuracy, but overall, just led to frustration.
It's got to feel really weird to putt that way.
Yeah. But I feel like if I'm gonna commit to something, I need to commit to it. Forehand, everything, everywhere.
Yeah, it's like you said, you really don't see people putt forehanded.
Now, I've honestly always been jealous of everyone on this hole because the forehand is a really good play, and I've never had it. I feel like forehand roller is just gonna be my play all month. Stay there. All right, one thing I've definitely recognized is that when I look at my forehand form, my arm is like out as opposed to being tucked in. It feels like something, it should be tucked. Doing it is a little more difficult.
Oh, nice.
That was my best one yet.
Oh, good throw. Stay up there.
Across the creek.
Now, I don't know if it'll stay that way.
Let's stay there. Whenever I
That's huge. That was a good throw. Oh! Oh! Getting so much spin on those kids. Turn. Nice.
Got a bar to beat now. All right, 14 over for the first all forehand round. Doesn't feel terrible. It's just, I keep saying it over and over again, but the forehand just does not, it doesn't make sense in my brain. This month is gonna be all about just trying to figure out if I can make it make sense. At this point, really my only option was to do what every disc golfer does when they're struggling with something, head to YouTube. I watched countless form videos trying to figure out exactly what the crucial piece I was missing was, and it really boiled down to one thing. The problem with this philosophy, I was never a baseball player. So, if I'm gonna pretend like a disc is a baseball, I ultimately need to remind myself what throwing a baseball feels like. A lot of the tips said just throw that baseball and turn your body sideways. Seems pretty straightforward, and on occasion I would get it. This was ultimately the best tip that I found, but one that still took me a while to sort out. Using this new tip, I head out to the field to put it to practice. Now it's just about angles. After a couple throws, things started to improve minorly, which was ultimately all I was looking for here, and consistency started to set in. Now I say start because I was nowhere near perfect, and that's going to be a trend this month, but I was at least making minor progress. Would this translate to my play on the course? I had to wait and find out.
Oh. Got that. But I kind of short stroke that. Bar for you as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Our field session the other day, we're gonna test it out, trying to put the pieces together. That'll be my first forehand birdie. Are we learning here? The upshots feel good. It's the drives. In this round, things were going fairly well up until this point. Honestly, after throwing in the field as much as I did, and then going out to play a full 18 holes, I was telling my dad that just as I was figuring out the forehand in the field the other day, my arm was getting sore, so I stopped. And then now I feel like I'm having to relearn it, but we're getting there. Precisely on this throw, things started to go downhill. My arm was extremely sore, and I probably pushed myself a little bit more than I needed to. If that would have gotten past that tree, My elbow's definitely not used to this many forehands. Needing to slow down a little bit. And in an effort to not injure myself, I started to just throw weak and non-committed shots. And really at that point, what's the point?
I never even gave that a chance.
I should have just thrown in the towel during this round, but I pushed myself a little bit more because the competitor in me just wanted to see if I could sort it out. It's a shame that my arm is gassed because I got nothing left here. So it's leading to more discs in the drink.
See it? No.
Given the risk of further injury, I decided to take a little bit of time off and really just resorted to what every disc golfer does. Just practicing my throw everywhere I went until ultimately my shoulder and elbow felt better. All right, it's been about a week since I've thrown at all. I have no reason to hurt myself out here, and need to keep that in mind. So today the aim is just getting back into the swing of things, no pun intended. I think if I've learned anything this month, it's that the distance forehand is not going to be my thing for a long time. I mean, doing just a month of the forehand was probably a bad idea in the first place. So what can I get from this month? Some controlled forehand shots. So this realization really helped me to hone in what I needed to be practicing. It's not about distance, it's about control. And I remember even when I was trying to learn the backhand shot, what helped me most was not trying to throw far, but trying to throw accurately. Trying to just hit targets consistently and build a little bit of distance over time. And you know, I was realizing by the end of this month that my form was pretty awful. And it's gonna take much more than a month to figure this out. And you know what? That's okay. I have returned to where I started this month. I've had enough time to sort out form as good as it's gonna get. I'm nowhere near perfect, but I don't think there's gonna be any improvements from fieldwork today. Today is all about the bag. There are discs that I am comfortable forehanding, discs that I'm not comfortable forehanding, discs that are good for the forehand, discs that are not good for the forehand. And as I anticipate my final round to try to beat my 14 over at Suwanee Creek, I want to know which discs I should throw. All right, it's a beautiful day today. Got to beat the initial score out here at Suwanee of 14 over. So if I come anywhere under that, I'm definitely happy, which is certainly possible, but let's see if it'll happen. Well,
Get out.
I actually go long. Off to a bad start. That was a bad start. Be wearing an elbow brace today. My 30-year-old elbow is hurting after this month. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Oh, man. When I'm nervous, I throw the disc on way too much anhyzer when I'm throwing forehand. I just don't throw flat when I'm nervous. So let's get rid of the nerves. about where I usually end up. Turning everything over. This is the annoying thing. I get to the point in the field where I'm comfortable and throwing flat, and then I get out here, and the trees make me nervous. This one always felt like a must-get birdie with the forehand. I just never had the forehand.
Oh yeah. But it's flip. Nice.
4 over through 9, not bad.
No.
I've got 10 strokes. I could bogey out and still hit the goal.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that, but I could. Yes, I'm fine with that. It's gonna be a bogey, but could have been a double. Friday, Saturday. Got another tee shot. The height messing with my brain.
Oh, there you go. Get the basket. Oh, man.
Towards the end of this round, we ran into a local legend named Rock. Rock started to give me a couple pointers as we were playing, and it seemed to really help.
Get that. We were doing over 20,000 steps.
Yeah.
Flip up.
Yep.
And then go through that gap and then be on the right side of the basket.
I think trying to learn this month in isolation wasn't super helpful. It would have really helped to have someone who knew what they were talking about just look at my throw and give me subtle tips over time. I knew that a month wasn't going to fix my awful forehand, but it did start to point me in a good direction. I'm excited that these short, controlled scramble shots are a little better than they were when this month started, and that's going to be useful. But the backhand's going to continue to be my go-to shot.
Too early.
Okay.
You need to like
Come through it. Yeah. And over. Yep.
beat it.
Yeah. All right, after a month of only forehands, there's really only one thing I'm excited to do. Oh, that was nice. All right, yeah, that'll do. See you on the first.